So today's video is actually an entire breakfast. I have a friend off in foreign lands doing America stuff that asked for a demonstration of extra crispy bacon. I figured instead of just doing bacon, why not do an entire breakfast and dedicate this video to the American warfighter. Let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the top end off. We want everything to be relatively small. It'll cook quicker. It'll mix in with the eggs better. So you take off the onion. We're gonna go ahead and slice the onion through the root end. We're gonna cut turn it. We're only gonna use half that onion. That's more than enough. Now for color and to make the eggs more visually appealing, I've gone with a red and orange bell pepper. Let's slice the top off and slice the bottom off. You can use the bottom. We're gonna go ahead and remove the seeds. All right, now that the seeds have been removed, we're going to fillet out all this white pith. Go ahead and cut this into some little cubes. Go ahead and cut our mushrooms into a third bowl. With these mushrooms, essentially, we're just going to remove the stems. Okay, once the stems are removed, all we're going to do with these mushrooms is just a thin slice on them. The mushrooms are going to go into a fine mesh strainer in a bowl and get a quick rinse to help clean them up. You don't want to keep them in water too long or they'll get mushy. For our garnish, we're going to cut some green onions. We're going to cut them on a very, very long bias. They're going to go into a bowl of water into the ice box and they should get a delightful curl on them. For what we're doing today, that will be sufficient. We're going to preheat our oven to 425 degrees. Yes, we're actually going to bake the bacon on a wire rack on a sheet tray. We have some lovely thick sliced bacon. We're going to go ahead and put on there while the oven's preheating. So I've got some frozen biscuits here that are going to go onto an ungreased sheet tray, and the bacon and the biscuits are going to go into the oven. We're going to set a timer for 15 minutes, at which time we're going to pull the biscuits out and flip our bacon. Pro tip right here, timer 15 minutes. While that's going, we're going to start working on our eggs. We're going to go on this stove about a mid-high heat. Going to add a little bit of clarified butter to this pan. While that's melting, we're going to get our eggs in. Now that our butter's melted, we're going to add our onions. We're just looking to get them translucent. Seasoning on the eggs, a little salt, a little pepper, a touch of some Cajun seasoning. Because our ham's pre-cooked and just needs to be warm, we'll add our ham. Just give that a little mix up to break these yolks up. All right, now we're gonna add these mushrooms. Really with the mushrooms, We're just getting, want to sweat the water. To the eggs for some flavor. We're going to add just a little splash of cream, as well as some cheese. So at this time, now that we've sweated most of the water out those mushrooms, we're going to add our peppers. Give this a quick stir. We don't want this skillet hot when we add the eggs, or it will instantly cook them. As you can see, those mushrooms have absorbed all the oil. We're going to let that finish cooking. So see how we got our oil back. What we're going to do, like always, we're going to deglaze with a little bit of white wine. We're going to deglaze off the heat. This will help, this little bit of acid will help these onions and mushrooms release their flavor, and yet add another depth of flavor to this. Now we've allowed that wine to reduce. We're going to go a relatively lower heat, add our egg mixture. And stir this around, incorporate everything in, get this cheese melted. That's our 15-minute timer. So we're going to pull our biscuits out. And we're going to flip our bacon over. That shimmer at the bottom, that is all the grease. You don't want this bacon to cook in the grease. Now that we've flipped that bacon over, we're going to let that cook until it gets to the desired level of crispiness that we're looking for. And we're going to keep working on our eggs. Your perfect scrambled eggs shouldn't have any color, and they take a while to cook. While our eggs finish setting, we'll check our bacon. Back to our eggs. They're setting up very nicely. So everything's coming together very nicely. What we're going to do is go ahead and cut our oven off. Let that bacon finish cooking. These eggs are close to done, and we'll plate all this up. All right, let's get set up to plate this up. We're going to pop the biscuits back in the turned off oven just to rewarm them. So I'm going to go with a round plate. Pull these biscuits back out, and they should be rewarmed. We're going to place these 4 biscuits right here on this round plate, just like this. I have some raspberry puree I had made earlier, and all we're going to do is spoon that over these biscuits. And then we're going to pull our bacon out the oven, which, as you can see, is very, very crispy. And we're going to place that basically over these biscuits. Then we're going to take our eggs and spoon that right over the top of this bacon. That is 4 biscuits, 6 slices of bacon, and 5 eggs, fully loaded. We're going to garnish it with some of those green onions. And that is what I call the Warfighter's Breakfast.